Continuing our discussions on statistics, at this point we're going to talk about quartiles and deciles now. And we'll show you how to compute these two terms here. No? Quartiles will be 1/4 of the data, and deciles will be 1/10, no? every 1/10, every 10th of the data. So we are given this table here for scores, frequency, and cumulative frequency. And we are asked to find the first quartile here, no? We are asked to find the first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, and interquartile range, and the fourth decile, no? Since we have most of the time we are given only the scores and frequency, and we're going to compute for the cumulative frequency. So this one here, given all this data here, to compute for the cumulative frequency, no? So the first one is 1, no? So this should always be the same. 1 plus 5 is 6, 6 plus 8 is 14, 14 plus 11 is 25, 25 plus 12 is 37, 37 plus 10 is 47, 47 plus 8 is 55, 55 plus 5 is 60. So when we add these frequencies here, we're going to get 60, no? So since we are asked to find these variables here, for the first quartile, always remember the word quarter, the 1/4 of the given data. So 1/4 of the total number of frequency, which is 60, no? Divided by 4, that will be 15. So we're going to make use of this 15 here for the first quartile, and look for the values of the scores from this cumulative frequency, no? Since there is no 15 here, we have here 1, 6, 14, and 25. So we're going to use the upper value, no? So we're going to use these rows here, no? The first, this rows here, the fourth row, no? For the scores, we're going to use 75 to 79. Frequency, we're going to use 11. And the cumulative frequency with is 25. So we're going to make use of the first quartile formula, no? XLB will be the value, the lower value or lower bound of the value of the scores plus this part here, the first quartile class, which is 15, minus the lower value or lower bound of the cumulative frequency and the frequency for the first quartile times the index, no? The index class, no? But first, since we have found the class interval to be 75 to 79, the lower bound will be the value. If we look again this table here, no, XLB will be between 74 and 75. So that will be 74.5. And the frequency, for the first quartile is 11, no? From this row here. So lower bound of the cumulative frequency is 14, no? The lower bound, no? The lower value is 14, and this index will be the range of these scores here from 75 to 79. Our index here is 75, 76, 77, 78, 79 is 5. So the index is 5. After getting all these values here, we substitute them to the given or to our formula. XLB will be 74.5 plus the lower first the value for the first quartile class is at 15 minus 14, which is a CFB, over 11 times the index of 5. Using our calculators, we're going to get 74.9545 repeating. For our second problem here, the Q2 class, so the second quarter, is dividing the full frequency, so total frequency, into 4 times 2. So we found out 60 over 4 is 15 times 2 is 30. After getting the value of 30 here, you look for the value of the scores for this second quartile class. So this one has now 30 here. So 25, that is between 25 and 37. So we're going to use this row here, no? And the row here, the scores for this row here is 80 to 84. So we're going to use this row here for a second quartile. No? So again, we're going to use this formula here, XLB plus the second quartile class minus CFB, the lower bound, the equivalent frequency, and all over the frequency for the second quartile times the index. No? So since we have found the 80 to 84 to be the class interval for the second quartile, and we have found out all these values here, we're going to substitute them to our formula here. No? So since the lower bound for the scores will be 79.5, the lower of this 80 here and 79 is 79.5, plus the second quartile class, no, which is 30 minus 25, no, CFB below 30 is 25, no, over 12, no, the second frequency, no, second quartile frequency times the index of 5, no? That is 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. That is 5. The index is with 5. After computing, we'll find out the value of this portion here to be 2.0833. Add that to the lower bound scores, which is 7.5, get 81.5833 repeating. So we go next to third quarter class, no? Third quartile. So, or 75% of the percentile, no? By the way, the first quartile is 25% of the scores. Second quartile is the median, or 50%. Third quartile is 75%. So we're going to get first the third quartile class, which is n over 4, the first quartile, no, the total number of the data set, which is 60, divided by 4 is 15 times 3 is 45. Again, we have this formula here. The only difference is 3n over 4. And we're going to use CFB, that is below, no? The value of the third quartile. No? The class interval responding to this third quartile, that is 45, we're looking to 45 here. No? So the third quartile, since there's no 45 is between 37.7, we're going to use the upper value, which is 47, and thus we're going to use this row here, 85 to 89 for the scores. Frequency will be 10, and this 47 will be the value for the cumulative frequency. So the lower bound is between 85 and 84. That is 84.5. The frequency for the third quartile is 10. No? The frequency for the third quartile is 10. No? And the index between from 85 to 89 is similarly computed to be 5. No? Substituting all this value. By the way, the class interval or the cumulative frequency to be used is 37. That is below the third quartile frequency. So we're going to use 37. So 45. Now for this value we have here XLB. Lower bound for the scores 84.5. So 45 and 7 is 8 times 5 is 40 divided by 10 is 4. So we add this 4 here to the lower bound, the third quartile, which is 84.5, we get the 88.5. So first we're going, next one we're going to compute for interquartile range. This is computed by getting the difference between the third quartile and the first quartile. So the third quartile is 88.5. So first quartile is 74.79. No? We found the value to be 74.79. Getting the difference here, no? 88.5 minus 74.95. The difference is 13.55. That will be the value of the interquartile range. So for the D4, the decile 4, no, or the 40% of the given data set, D4 class is, or the decile will be computed just the same, just as we computed the median, the second quartile, the quartile, and also the percentile. No? They are all similar. No? The only difference is the representation of each entity. No? So for the decile, the fourth decile, XLB plus this quantity here, 4n over 10 minus the lower bound cumulative frequency over the frequency for the fourth decile times the index, no? The score index. Since we have found out the value for the fourth decile, 4 over 10 of 60 is equal to 24. No? Oh, yes, 24, no? So, we're going to find the value of all these elements here, or these variables here. Since we have found the value of 4n over 10 to be 24, and the class interval that is having this 24, the value of 24 here, is similar to the first quartile class interval, first quartile. So we're going to use again this row here, no, for the first quartile. No? So XLB, the lower bound for the first quartile is, since the class interval is going to be used is 75 to 79, the lower bound is also 74.5. The cumulative frequency below this is 14 also. No? And the decile for this decile is 11. No? The frequency for the fourth decile is 11. The index is also 5. No? Between 75 to 79. The range of this is 5. Substituting all this value for the fourth decile formulas, 74.5 plus 24 minus 14 over 11. So this one is 10 over 11, 50 over 11, which is 4.5. No? 50 over 11, no? 10 times 5 is 50 over 11 is 4.5. Plus 74.5, we are going to get 79. So that's easy, no? The only way to solve this is just mere understanding, no? And following all the steps given by your instructors. No? So thank you for watching again our videos. And please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, no? My YouTube channel by Wilfredo Tan. And and also click the notification bell. And if ever you have any suggestions, no, or comments, please do so, and we'll greatly appreciate it. And so that we can improve our method of instructions. So thank you, and see you again later.